Hi everyone, I'm Kat from BEMP and I'm here with the video to explain the grab and go activity called What the Poop. Feel free to follow along with me as I talk about this activity more. To start off, let's learn about a bacteria that is found in poop. This is called E. coli, and it can make people sick if it gets into their food or the water that they consume. E. coli can also be found in many bodies of water, including the Rio Grande. But how did E. coli get there in the first place? So our worksheet talks about watersheds, and here I actually have a picture of a watershed that I drew myself. So think about a watershed similar to a bowl, where the edges are going to be the mountaintops, and as it rains or any storms come along our way, all the water is going to go down. It's all going to pool down until it reaches the river, where it is still continuing to flow down. In our watershed, as the water is flowing down, it's flowing down through the system, down the mountains, into the river. It can actually meet some obstacles along the way. Things like animal poop, which I've shown here, and even here down in the river. When it meets poop or any kind of waste, it can actually pick up E. coli, and that is the perfect opportunity for E. coli to be introduced into the water. So animal waste is not the only way that E. coli can be introduced into the river. As the river flows past places like ranches and cities, those places have contaminated water that flows back into the river, especially after a storm. After a storm is when a lot more E. coli can move into the river. And when you get down to this point after the city and after the ranch, that part of the river can actually be quite contaminated with E. coli. Our worksheet does show a watershed starting with the upstream forest and the cattle ranch. From there, the water flows down into a river and it goes past an urban city and downstream towards an agricultural field. Next to each of those locations on our map, we're going to have some emojis that represent different things. We have the poop emoji, which represents the place where E. coli is found. And then we also have this radioactive biohazard emoji, which represents other substances that can be harmful to humans or the environment. Now, this is a snapshot of a river right after a storm. And so all of these pollutants are ready to enter the river at this point. Our activity has two questions about this exact moment right after the storm. So first of all, do you think that each community releases the same amount of pollutants into the river after a storm? Why or why not? Those communities are going to be our upstream forest, our cattle ranch, our urban city, and our agricultural field. So why or why not might those communities release the same or different amounts of pollutants into the river? The second part of this activity is to go for a walk around your neighborhood and try to find any pollutants that might get washed into the river after a storm. What kind of pollutants are they? Can you identify them? Remember to be careful if you are picking up any pollutants to throw them away. Wear gloves if you can, and always wash your hands when you get home. Ask an adult to help you with this activity. If you want to take this activity to the next level, you can finish completing this graph down at the bottom of the worksheet. Simply place the number of pollutants that you found in each community after the storm in the spaces provided below on the table. Alright, that's the end of the video. Please remember that there is no poop fairy, so remember to pick up those pollutants that may come from your own household pets so that they don't end up in the river or any other kind of water. Thanks for watching, and I hope that this was helpful. Bye!